Again, you got to make a decision, quadratic and what? And my decision is quadratic in x. So I want to rewrite it so it looks quadratic in x to me. And what I mean by that, I'm seeing the minus 4x squared. I see that. The next thing I look around for the terms with an x in it, and I see two terms with an x in it. And what would the coefficient on the x be then? Let's take a look at it. It would be y minus 7. I'm seeing that. Then what's left over? That quadratic in y, which is y squared minus 7y plus 2. So everything's working out pretty nicely. Now, I'm going to do something which may seem a little strange to some students. I'm actually going to factor out a minus 1 from the problem. All right? I'm actually going to factor out a minus 1 from it. By the way, this 0 does not belong there. I'll delete that later. This is not an equation, it's an expression. So let me write that down for you. I'm going to factor out minus 1. And if I do that, it's easier for me if I do that. I'm not saying it's easier for everyone, but it's easier for me. And what do you get over there? You're going to get 4x squared. I'm still going to use plus, and I'm going to say over here, this is going to be, factor minus 1 out, 7 minus y. X. And then over here, I'm going to get minus, and I'm actually going to factor it. All right? And that doesn't look like a bad factorization. I'm going to say 3y and y, and I'm going to say 2 and 1. And let me see if I can do that. So 3y times y is 3y squared. Well, it looks like minus minus. All right, so I'm going to say that gives me 3y squared. Minus 6 minus 1 is my 7y, working out like a charm. Now here comes the trouble. The trouble is factoring this guy. It's more difficult. There's no doubt about it. The number one reason it's more difficult is this guy right over here. It could be 4x and 1x or 2x and 2x. I'm going to make a stab by saying 4x and x. All right? Now comes the trouble. I got to wonder, where did these factors go? And that's a struggle, I'll be honest with you. And I'm going to put it down like this initially. I'm not going to say it's going to work. And the other one I'd put down, I'm not putting any signs down yet. I'm putting down the 3y minus 1 here. All right? Now, certainly I get the 4x squared, not a problem. And I get the last term. I'm not looking at signs, by the way, not a problem. But now I'm looking at it, and I'm kind of wondering what the signs are. And this could be a guessing game because it's more complicated. So I'm looking at it, 4y, and my aim, this is my aim over here. I want to get 7 minus y there. That's my aim. So let's give it a shot. Wow, let me try this. Always good to try, right? So you would get 4y minus 8, and then you would get minus 3y plus 1. Well, you know what? That's the exact opposite that I wanted, so I got to try again. This is no good. So it's easy to see that all I got to do is change the signs now. I would never assume it's right, by the way. So let's do it again. What are you going to get? Minus 4y, right? Plus 8. And then you're going to get 3y minus 1. Well, if you add that together, what do you get? 7, right? And you get minus y. And what's the answer over there? Wow, 7 minus y. This is the correct factorization of the problem. Let me get my eraser out, and I'm going to rewrite it, right? When I rewrite it, I'm just rewriting it. That's all I'm doing. So it's minus 1. This is going to be 4x plus 3y minus 1. And then I get x minus y plus 2. And I'm going to say that's a good-looking answer right there. Now, someone's going to say, well, you got a different answer down there. I'm not sure about that. But I want to point out also what some students will do is, put the minus 1 with one of those factors. Let me just do that with you. And I'm going to say 4x plus 3y minus 1. And then I'd have y minus x minus 2. That's also a good-looking answer, right? Now, before I conclude I'm correct over here, I want to look at the key. Y minus x minus 2. I see that right over there. 3y plus 4x minus 1. Now, granted, Things might be in different order, but that's fine. Additions are commutative. I see this. Do I see this one? Which is minus, I see that, x minus y plus 2. Do I see 4x plus 3y minus 1? Yes, I do see that. All right, so that's the way I like doing it. But again, you may look at that and say, that's crazy. That's too much work. I don't want to do that. Now here, if you don't want to do that, let me erase all this business over here. And I want to go through what you have to do otherwise, all right? And let me erase this all business over here. But I got the right answer, right? So if you're going to do this over here, the absolute first step in the problem is to write this down over here. By the way, let me repeat this. This is not an equation, it's an expression. And I'm looking for the roots. So what do? You identify the a. In this case, the a is minus 4. You identify the b. In this case, the b is going to be y minus 7. And you identify the c. And what's the c? It's 3y squared minus 7y plus 2. Now, for me, this is a lot of work. I got to plug it into the quadratic formula, and that's work. What I mean by that, I have to plug this into the formula. X equals, this is x, right? Minus b plus or minus, it's work, b squared minus 4ac over 2a. But my gut feeling, if you did it, you'd get something, all right? And I want to tell you what you'd get. You'd get the roots. And these are the roots that you get if you did that. What do I do now? I write it down. It was going to be x minus root 1, which would be minus y. Let me see if I'm doing this right. Yeah, plus 2. And the second guy is going to be, let's see, x minus, it's going to be more complicated, 1 minus 3y over 4. And then what I have to multiply by? I got to get the coefficient to be minus 4 in the x squared term, so I multiply by minus 4. So I'm going to write that down as minus 1 times x minus y plus 2. And then I'm going to associate the 4 with the second factor, this guy over here. What do you get? 4x. And multiplying it by 4, right? So what would you get? You would get minus 1 plus 3y. Right, does it give us the same answer? Yes. We got this, x minus y plus 2, and we get the 4x plus 3y minus 1, all right? All roads lead to that answer. Thank you.